The Sphinx Machine. In 1993, Japanese archaeologist Dr. Sakuji Yoshimura was conducting routine ground-penetrating radar surveys around the Great Sphinx of Giza. What his equipment detected beneath the monument's paws defied all explanation. A massive metallic structure, approximately 30 meters in length, was buried directly beneath one of the world's most famous ancient monuments. The readings showed clear signs of advanced engineering. The buried object appeared to be constructed from metal alloys that predated known human metallurgy by thousands of years. Internal chambers, complex geometric patterns, and what looked like sophisticated mechanical components were arranged in configurations that suggested technology far beyond ancient Egyptian capabilities. Dr. Yoshimura's excitement quickly turned to alarm when Egyptian authorities classified his findings within 48 hours. His research permits were revoked immediately. His equipment was confiscated, and he was escorted out of Egypt with explicit warnings never to discuss his discoveries publicly. But Yoshimura had already transmitted his data to colleagues in Japan. The images revealed internal structures that incorporated engineering principles humanity wouldn't develop for millennia. The design showed understanding of metallurgy, precision manufacturing, and technological concepts that seemed impossible for the time period when the Sphinx was supposedly built. Independent analysis by metallurgists at Tokyo University confirmed the most disturbing aspect of the discovery. The buried object's composition included isotopes that don't occur naturally on Earth. The metal showed signs of precision manufacturing using techniques beyond our current industrial capabilities. This wasn't just advanced for its time. It was advanced for our time. Even more extraordinary were the electromagnetic readings. The buried device was still active after thousands of years underground. Energy signatures emanated from the structure in patterns that followed mathematical sequences unknown to natural phenomena. The energy patterns corresponded to theoretical equations in quantum physics that weren't developed until the 21st century. When Dr. Yoshimura attempted to publish his findings, academic journals refused his papers. His research funding was mysteriously withdrawn. Colleagues who had initially supported his work suddenly distanced themselves after receiving pressure from undisclosed sources. Documents obtained through Freedom of Information requests revealed that the CIA had been monitoring Yoshimura's work. Internal memos described the Sphinx discovery as posing significant risks to established historical narratives and recommended indefinite classification of all related materials. The coordination between American intelligence and Egyptian authorities showed how quickly global powers moved to suppress this evidence. The cover-up intensified with physical modifications to the site. Satellite imagery revealed new concrete installations around the Sphinx that appeared designed to prevent further investigation of the underground anomaly. The Egyptian government declared the zone off-limits to all archaeological research, citing vague structural preservation concerns. Recent geological surveys using advanced penetrating radar have confirmed that the metallic object remains in place, continuing to emit energy signatures that suggest active technological systems. The machine, if that's what it is, appears to be waiting. For what, we can only speculate. This discovery raises profound questions about the true builders of the Sphinx and their technological capabilities. The evidence suggests that whoever created this monument possessed knowledge and technology that challenges everything we've been taught about ancient Egyptian civilization. The impossible human. In 1880, Argentine geologist Dr. Carlos Ameghino made a discovery that should have revolutionized our understanding of human evolution. He uncovered human fossils in rock formations that were 25 million years old. These weren't primitive ancestors or evolutionary intermediates. They were anatomically modern humans, identical to contemporary populations, embedded in geological layers that predated the accepted emergence of our species by over 24 million years. The implications were staggering. If modern humans existed 25 million years ago, the entire timeline of human evolution would need complete revision. The discovery suggested that our species had either existed far longer than believed or had undergone multiple cycles of advancement and extinction throughout Earth's history. Dr. Ameghino's findings were initially published in the Journal of the Royal Anthropological Institute. The fossils were found in the Monte Hermoso Formation near Buenos Aires, embedded in undisturbed rock layers that had been sealed for millions of years. Carbon dating geological stratification, and multiple independent analyses confirmed the authenticity and age of the remains. But within months, the article was retracted after pressure from European academic institutions. The official explanation cited contaminated samples and flawed dating methodology, but no credible evidence supported these dismissals. The scientific establishment had decided that evidence contradicting accepted theory was more dangerous than beneficial. Independent verification came from British paleontologist Arthur Smith Woodward, who traveled to Argentina specifically to examine Ameghino's claims. Woodward not only confirmed the original findings, but documented additional human fossils in the same geological formation. Even more remarkably, he discovered sophisticated tools and artifacts that showed advanced manufacturing techniques. Woodward's report was classified by the British Museum and never released to the public. When Dr. Ameghino attempted to display the fossils at international scientific conferences, they were repeatedly denied exhibition permits. Museums refused to acquire the specimens, and academic institutions declined to fund further research. Leaked correspondence between major universities revealed a coordinated effort to suppress the Monte Hermoso discovery. Letters discussed maintaining consistency in evolutionary timelines and preventing public confusion about human origins. The academic establishment had made a collective decision that certain evidence was too disruptive to acknowledge. The fossils were eventually stored in private collections, where they remain inaccessible to scientific study. Generations of students have been taught a version of human evolution that deliberately excludes evidence of our species' true antiquity. Modern genetic analysis of preserved tissue samples has revealed DNA sequences that are 99.7% identical to contemporary human populations. This genetic evidence confirms that these weren't primitive ancestors, but fully modern humans who somehow existed millions of years before our species supposedly evolved. The cover-up extended to educational materials. Textbook publishers were instructed to omit any reference to anomalous human fossils. The result is that we've been taught a version of history that deliberately excludes inconvenient evidence about the true age of human civilization. These first two discoveries establish a disturbing pattern. Revolutionary archaeological evidence is discovered by credentialed researchers. The findings challenge established timelines and institutional narratives. Government agencies and academic institutions coordinate to suppress the evidence. And researchers face career destruction for pursuing inconvenient truths. Real quick, if you're learning something new from this video, be sure to like and drop a comment with your favorite. It helps us to spread this info to those who need to hear it most. Also, subscribe and hit the bell so you won't miss what we reveal next. Trust me, there's a whole lot more hidden. Now back to it. The crystal skulls. Between 1924 and 1927, British explorer Frederick Mitchell Hedges made discoveries in Central America that would challenge our understanding of ancient manufacturing capabilities. Deep within Maya and Aztec ruins, he uncovered 13 crystal skulls crafted with precision that defies modern technology. These weren't crude tourist replicas or simple carved stones. Each skull was manufactured from single blocks of pure quartz crystal using techniques that remain impossible to replicate today. The craftsmanship showed no tool marks, no microscopic scratching, and internal structures that could only be achieved with laser-like precision that wouldn't be invented for another century. The crystal had somehow been softened during manufacturing, then rehardened into perfect anatomical replicas of human skulls. Moving jaw pieces, intricate internal details, and surface features that matched human bone structure down to the smallest anatomical elements suggested manufacturing processes beyond our current capabilities. Dr. Anna Mitchell Hedges, Frederick's daughter, who witnessed the original discoveries, documented extraordinary properties when the skulls were exposed to specific lighting conditions. Under full-spectrum illumination, they projected holographic images of star maps, mathematical formulas, and symbolic information systems that appeared to be instructional materials for advanced scientific concepts. The implications were immediately recognized by government authorities. Within days of each discovery, the skulls were confiscated and transferred to classified storage facilities. Museums that had briefly exhibited the artifacts were ordered to remove them from public display and surrender them to undisclosed government agencies. Hewlett-Packard Laboratories conducted extensive analysis of one skull in 1970, concluding that it was impossible to create with available technology. The crystal structure showed no evidence of mechanical manufacturing. The precision exceeded what could be achieved with diamond-tipped instruments or any known industrial process. The skull appeared to have been shaped through methods that could manipulate crystal structure at the molecular level. This suggested manufacturing techniques that operated on principles of matter manipulation that modern science was only beginning to understand theoretically. Most extraordinarily, the skulls contained piezoelectric properties that generated electrical fields when subjected to pressure or temperature changes. The electrical output followed complex patterns corresponding to mathematical constants and physical principles that weren't discovered by modern science until centuries after the skulls were supposedly created. When researchers attempted to document the skull's holographic properties, their equipment was systematically confiscated by government agents who claimed the artifacts posed national security risks. The speed and coordination of these seizures suggested prior surveillance and preparation for suppression. Leaked documents from the Smithsonian Institution revealed internal communications describing the crystal skulls as containing advanced technological principles that could destabilize established academic disciplines. Institution directors were instructed to minimize public awareness while privately studying the artifacts for potential technological applications. Independent laboratories that analyzed crystal samples reported discovering microscopic inscriptions containing mathematical formulas that wouldn't be developed by human civilization for decades. The formulas included solutions to problems in quantum mechanics and theoretical physics that suggested ancient civilizations possessed scientific knowledge exceeding our current capabilities. The 13 skulls were apparently designed to work together as components of a larger information system. When arranged in specific geometric patterns, they generated electromagnetic fields that influenced nearby electronic equipment and created acoustic phenomena resembling computer data transmission. This discovery represents evidence that ancient civilizations possessed not just advanced knowledge, but integrated technological systems that operated on principles we're still struggling to understand. The systematic suppression suggests that certain capabilities demonstrated by these artifacts remain too threatening to acknowledge publicly. The Baghdad Tesla. In 1936, German archaeologist Wilhelm Koenig discovered objects in Iraq that would become known as the Baghdad batteries. These 2,000-year-old devices generated electricity centuries before Alessandro Volta supposedly invented the electric battery. But Koenig found something far more significant that has been completely erased from archaeological records. Beneath ancient Baghdad, Koenig uncovered a sophisticated electrical installation that appears to be the remains of a power distribution system serving an entire city. The complex consisted of copper cables, ceramic insulators, and junction boxes arranged in patterns that matched modern electrical grid designs. The installation extended beneath several square kilometers of the ancient city. Koenig's documentation included photographs of perfectly preserved copper cables with oxidation patterns indicating they had conducted electricity for extended periods. The cables were arranged in parallel runs, separated by ceramic insulators exactly like modern power distribution systems, but manufactured using techniques that produce superior conductivity and durability. The junction boxes contained switching mechanisms made from unknown metal alloys that showed no signs of corrosion, despite being buried for 2 millennia. Analysis revealed that the switches incorporated principles of electromagnetic field control that wouldn't be discovered by modern science until the development of advanced electrical engineering in the 20th century. When Koenig attempted to map the complete electrical system, Iraqi authorities terminated his excavation permits and classified his findings. His photographs and documentation were confiscated, and he was prohibited from publishing any information about the discovery. The dig site was sealed with concrete and declared off-limits to further archaeological investigation. Independent confirmation came from British electrical engineer Robert Ford, who examined Koenig's samples and confirmed they were components of a functional electrical system. Ford's analysis revealed that the ancient installation could have generated and distributed electrical power more efficiently than many modern systems. The power source for this electrical grid was never identified, but geological surveys detected unusual magnetic anomalies beneath the city that suggested the presence of large metallic structures. These anomalies corresponded to locations where Koenig had documented the highest concentration of electrical infrastructure. Museum records show that hundreds of electrical components recovered from the Baghdad site were distributed to various institutions for study. But these artifacts have since disappeared from collections with no explanation. Inquiries about the missing objects are consistently met with claims that no such artifacts ever existed. Leaked correspondence between Koenig and colleagues revealed that the Baghdad electrical system incorporated wireless power transmission technologies that Tesla had theorized but never successfully implemented. The ancient engineers had solved technical problems that modern electrical engineering continues to struggle with today. This discovery proves that electrical technology existed in the ancient world at levels of sophistication that challenge our entire understanding of technological development. The systematic suppression suggests that acknowledging ancient electrical systems would undermine narratives about human progress and technological innovation. The giant skeleton. Between 1890 and 1920, archaeologists across the American Midwest made thousands of discoveries that should have rewritten the prehistory of North America. They uncovered complete cities built to accommodate people of extraordinary height, with doorways, furniture, and architectural elements sized for inhabitants over 8 feet tall. The skeletal remains measured between 7 and 12 feet in height, buried in elaborate tombs alongside advanced tools and artifacts that suggested sophisticated civilization. These weren't isolated anomalies, but represented entire populations with consistent anatomical features that indicated they belonged to a distinct human subspecies. Medical examination by contemporary physicians confirmed that the remains showed no signs of gigantism or pathological conditions. They were simply humans who had evolved to extraordinary size, with proportional bone structure and muscle attachment points that indicated normal physiological development at larger scale. Archaeological evidence indicated that these civilizations possessed advanced metallurgy, sophisticated architecture, and agricultural techniques that exceeded the capabilities of contemporary Native American tribes. Their tools were crafted from metals requiring high-temperature smelting, and their construction projects involved moving massive stone blocks that would challenge modern engineering. The discoveries were initially reported in hundreds of newspaper articles from reputable sources, including the New York Times, Chicago Tribune, and Washington Post. Archaeological teams from major universities documented the finds with photographs, measurements, and detailed analysis that confirmed their authenticity and significance. But Dr. Alish Hrdlicka, curator of physical anthropology at the Smithsonian Institution, personally oversaw the confiscation of giant skeletons from archaeological sites across the country. His official reports claimed the remains were anatomical anomalies unsuitable for public display, but private correspondence revealed institutional directives to prevent evidence of ancient giants from reaching public awareness. The suppression was systematic and coordinated. When independent researchers attempted to study the remains, they found that the Smithsonian had destroyed most of the skeletons, claiming they were deteriorating and posed health hazards. However, leaked internal documents revealed that the destruction was deliberate, designed to eliminate physical evidence of advanced prehistoric civilizations. Recent excavations continue to uncover giant skeletons, but these discoveries are immediately classified under the Native American Graves Protection and Repatriation Act, preventing scientific study. Tribal councils working with government agencies ensure that all giant remains are quickly reburied without examination. Leaked Smithsonian inventory records from the 1920s list over 17,000 giant skeletal remains in storage facilities, but current officials claim no knowledge of these collections. Freedom of Information Act requests for information about the giant skeletons are consistently denied or heavily redacted. This systematic suppression represents more than academic politics. It reveals coordinated efforts to maintain specific narratives about prehistoric North America that support legal frameworks for land acquisition and resource extraction, while hiding evidence of advanced indigenous civilizations. The Atacama Stones. In 1961, American archaeologist Charles Berlitz made a discovery in Chile's Atacama Desert that would challenge everything we thought we knew about ancient scientific knowledge. Hidden within the harsh landscape, he uncovered a collection of carved stones containing mathematical and astronomical information so advanced that it could only have been produced by minds operating centuries ahead of their time. The Atacama stones weren't simple carvings or primitive artwork. Each piece contained precision-crafted formulas describing quantum mechanical principles, relativity equations, and advanced mathematics that wouldn't be discovered by recognized human civilization for hundreds of years after the stones were allegedly created. The calculations were accurate to levels requiring sophisticated understanding of subatomic physics and cosmological structures. Dr. Berlitz documented over 2,000 individual stones, each containing different aspects of an integrated scientific knowledge system. The information included star charts showing celestial positions that could only be calculated using advanced astronomical mathematics, periodic tables displaying elements not yet discovered by modern chemistry, and diagrams of atomic structures that perfectly matched contemporary nuclear physics models. Independent analysis by physicists at MIT confirmed that the mathematical formulas carved into these ancient stones were not only correct but demonstrated insights into theoretical physics that exceeded current academic understanding. The equations showed solutions to problems that modern science continues to struggle with today. Most extraordinary were the detailed technical specifications carved into the stone's surfaces. These included blueprints for energy generation systems, propulsion mechanisms, and communication devices. The technical drawings incorporated quantum physics concepts and practical applications that our modern technology cannot replicate, even with today's most advanced manufacturing capabilities. When Dr. Berlitz attempted to transport samples to the United States for comprehensive study, Chilean authorities intercepted his materials at the airport and permanently banned him from the country. His research notes were confiscated, and he was required to sign legal agreements never to discuss his discoveries publicly or share his findings with other researchers. International pressure to examine the stones was consistently blocked by the Chilean government, which claimed the artifacts were culturally sensitive materials requiring protection from exploitation. However, leaked documents revealed the real concern was preventing the scientific community from accessing information that could revolutionize multiple academic disciplines and challenge established theories about human intellectual development. Satellite imagery shows that the original discovery site has been modified with military installations preventing unauthorized access. The area remains completely off-limits to archaeological research, with perimeter security exceeding protection levels for most classified military facilities. The message is clear. Whatever knowledge these stones contain must remain hidden from public scrutiny. Recent attempts by international archaeological organizations to negotiate access have been refused, with Chilean officials claiming the artifacts have been relocated for preservation purposes to facilities that cannot be disclosed for security reasons. The stones have effectively vanished from scientific study, taking their impossible knowledge with them. The Metal Library. In 1976, Scottish explorer Stan Hall made what should have been the archaeological discovery of the century. Deep within Ecuador's Taos cave system, he uncovered an enormous underground library containing thousands of metal books with pages made of gold, silver, and unknown metallic alloys. These weren't crude tablets or simple inscriptions. They were precisely manufactured volumes that demonstrated technological capabilities beyond our current understanding. The metal books were engineered using techniques that remain impossible to replicate today. The metallic pages had somehow been made flexible like paper, while maintaining the complete durability of metal. The text was inscribed using methods that created perfect letter formations with no tool marks, inconsistencies, or signs of mechanical manufacturing processes. Hall documented over 5,000 individual volumes, each containing hundreds of pages of text in multiple languages, including scripts that don't match any known human writing systems. Translation attempts revealed detailed historical accounts of civilizations that supposedly never existed, technical manuals for advanced technologies, and scientific treatises demonstrating sophisticated understanding of physics, astronomy, and mathematics. The most disturbing aspect of this discovery was that many books contained accurate information about future events that hadn't yet occurred when Hall found them. The volumes included detailed descriptions of technological developments, political changes, and social movements that would unfold exactly as predicted in subsequent decades. This suggested either prophetic capabilities or access to information sources operating outside normal temporal constraints. Independent linguistic analysis by experts at Oxford University confirmed that the unknown scripts followed consistent grammatical rules and represented sophisticated language systems with complex vocabulary and syntax. The languages appeared more advanced than known ancient scripts, suggesting development by highly educated civilizations with comprehensive educational institutions. When Hall attempted to photograph the metal books for documentation, his equipment malfunctioned consistently in ways that prevented clear images of the text. The metallic pages appeared to interfere with photographic processes, creating mysteriously blurred or distorted images despite perfect lighting and focus conditions. It was as if the books themselves resisted documentation. Government intervention came swiftly when Hall attempted to remove samples for laboratory analysis. Ecuadorian military forces sealed the cave system and declared it a restricted archaeological zone with access limited to authorized government researchers. Hall's permits were revoked, and he was prohibited from discussing his discoveries with other scientists or institutions. International negotiations to establish scientific study protocols were blocked by the Ecuadorian government, which claimed the site required protection from commercial exploitation. However, leaked documents revealed concerns that the library's contents could destabilize established historical and scientific paradigms by proving that advanced knowledge had existed far earlier than officially acknowledged. Recent expeditions to the Teos cave system report that the original library chamber has been sealed with concrete barriers and electronic monitoring systems preventing unauthorized access. The cave entrance is guarded by military personnel who refuse to acknowledge that the metal books ever existed. Thousands of volumes containing impossible knowledge have been effectively erased from human access. The Gobi Desert Observatory. In 1953, Soviet archaeologists working in the Gobi Desert uncovered the remains of an ancient observatory that contained mechanical computing devices capable of calculating planetary positions and predicting astronomical events with accuracy matching modern capabilities. The discovery was immediately classified by the Soviet government and erased from archaeological records because it proved that prehistoric peoples possessed scientific instruments that challenged accepted timelines of technological development. The Gobi Observatory included bronze gears, calibrated measuring devices, and mechanical calculators incorporating mathematical principles not developed by known civilizations until the Renaissance period. The instruments were specifically designed to track celestial movements, calculate eclipse cycles, and predict planetary positions with accuracy that match contemporary astronomical tables produced by modern observatories. Dr. Yuri Petrov, the lead archaeologist, documented over 200 individual instruments arranged in a complex suggesting systematic astronomical observation and calculation capabilities maintained over generations. The devices showed extensive wear patterns indicating regular use for extended periods, demonstrating that ancient astronomers had maintained sophisticated scientific observations across multiple centuries. The most remarkable discovery was a mechanical computer using gear ratios to perform complex calculations automatically. This device could determine planetary positions for any date in past or future with accuracy exceeding contemporary astronomical instruments, suggesting its designers possessed mathematical knowledge far beyond what was attributed to ancient civilizations by established academic theories. Independent analysis by Soviet mechanical engineers confirmed that the bronze instruments incorporated advanced mathematical concepts, including logarithmic functions, trigonometric calculations, and geometric principles that wouldn't be developed by recognized scientific traditions until centuries later. The engineering precision exceeded what could theoretically be achieved with tools available to ancient civilizations. When Dr. Petrov attempted to publish his findings in international archaeological journals, Soviet authorities intervened and classified all materials related to the discovery. His research was transferred to classified military installations, and he was reassigned to projects preventing him from continuing archaeological work or discussing his discoveries with international colleagues. The suppression intensified during Cold War tensions when Soviet intelligence agencies determined that the ancient instruments could provide insights into advanced computational techniques offering potential technological advantages. The observatory artifacts were transferred to secret research facilities where they remained completely inaccessible to scientific study or international examination. Satellite imagery from the discovery site shows the original location has been altered with excavation equipment and concrete installations obscuring the archaeological layers where the instruments were found. The area remains restricted under military security protocols, ensuring that no further investigation can occur. Recent attempts by international archaeological organizations to obtain information about the Gobi Observatory through diplomatic channels have been unsuccessful. Russian officials consistently claim that no such discovery was ever made, and that Dr. Petrov's records contain no reference to ancient astronomical instruments or mechanical computing devices. This systematic suppression represents more than Cold War secrecy. It reveals coordinated efforts to hide evidence that ancient civilizations possessed advanced scientific instruments and mathematical knowledge that challenges linear narratives of technological progress and human intellectual development. The Fraser tombs, Between 1935 and 1942, French archaeologist Émile Barrès made discoveries beneath the Great Pyramid of Giza that would fundamentally challenge every assumption about ancient Egyptian technological capabilities. He uncovered a vast underground complex containing advanced machinery, hieroglyphic text describing sophisticated scientific knowledge, and evidence of engineering systems that exceeded contemporary industrial capabilities. The underground complex contained functioning mechanical devices made from metals that shouldn't have been available to ancient Egyptians, including precision machine components showing no signs of wear despite being thousands of years old. The machinery incorporated principles of hydraulic engineering, electromagnetic manipulation, and precision mechanics that weren't developed by recognized civilizations until the modern industrial age. Barrès documented hieroglyphic texts describing advanced mathematical concepts, astronomical calculations, and scientific principles demonstrating sophisticated understanding of physics, chemistry, and engineering applications. The texts included detailed operational instructions for the underground machinery and maintenance procedures for technological systems requiring knowledge of metallurgy, electronics, and power generation techniques. Most extraordinary was a chamber containing what appeared to be a functioning power generation system that continued producing electrical energy after thousands of years of operation. The system incorporated principles of electromagnetic induction and energy conversion that wouldn't be discovered by modern science until centuries after the pyramid's construction, suggesting ancient Egyptian engineers possessed scientific knowledge exceeding our current understanding. Independent verification came from British engineer Robert Bauval, who examined Barrés's documentation and confirmed that the underground machinery incorporated advanced engineering principles exceeding contemporary technological capabilities. Bauval's analysis revealed systems designed with redundant safety mechanisms and automated controls demonstrating sophisticated understanding of industrial engineering and operational safety protocols. When Barrès attempted to transport samples of the advanced machinery to European laboratories for comprehensive analysis, Egyptian authorities confiscated his materials and revoked his excavation permits. His research documentation was seized, and he was prohibited from discussing his discoveries with other archaeologists, engineers, or scientific institutions anywhere in the world. The suppression intensified when government officials realized the underground complex could revolutionize understanding of ancient technological capabilities and challenge established narratives about human progress. The site was sealed with concrete barriers and access restricted to authorized personnel required to sign extensive confidentiality agreements preventing any discussion of their observations. International pressure to examine the underground complex was consistently blocked by Egyptian authorities claiming that further excavation could damage the Great Pyramid's structural integrity. However, leaked government documents revealed concerns that public awareness of advanced ancient technology could undermine cultural narratives about technological progress and human development. Recent ground-penetrating radar surveys conducted by independent researchers have confirmed that the underground complex remains intact beneath the pyramid, with electromagnetic readings suggesting that some of the ancient machinery continues to operate after millennia. However, Egyptian officials refuse to authorize scientific investigation, ensuring that this evidence of impossible ancient technology remains hidden from public knowledge. These discoveries collectively reveal a disturbing pattern of systematic suppression that extends across continents, decades, and multiple government agencies. The evidence shows that advanced knowledge, sophisticated technology, and scientific capabilities existed in the ancient world at levels that challenge everything we've been taught about human development and technological progress. The consistency of suppression tactics, immediate classification, equipment confiscation, career destruction, and physical site modification suggests coordinated efforts to maintain specific narratives about human history while hiding evidence that could revolutionize our understanding of ancient civilizations and human capabilities. What makes these systematic cover-ups even more disturbing is the coordination between institutions that should be independent. Government agencies, academic institutions, museums, and international organizations have worked together to ensure that evidence contradicting official historical narratives never reaches public awareness. The speed and efficiency of these suppression efforts suggest pre-existing protocols for handling discoveries that threaten established timelines. Consider the pattern that emerges when examining these 10 cases together. Within hours or days of each groundbreaking discovery, the same sequence of events unfolds. Research permits are mysteriously revoked. Equipment is confiscated under various pretexts. Physical evidence disappears into classified storage facilities or is destroyed entirely. And researchers face career annihilation if they attempt to discuss their findings publicly. The coordination extends beyond national boundaries. American intelligence agencies monitor archaeological work in Egypt. British institutions suppress findings in South America. Soviet authorities classify discoveries in Central Asia. Chilean military forces guard ancient sites containing impossible knowledge. This isn't coincidental bureaucratic caution. This is systematic information control operating on a global scale. The financial resources dedicated to these cover-ups are staggering. Entire archaeological sites are modified with concrete installations and electronic monitoring systems. Military personnel guard remote locations containing ancient artifacts. Researchers are relocated to different projects or transferred to classified facilities. The cost of maintaining these suppression operations suggests that powerful interests consider the hidden information extremely valuable or extremely dangerous. But perhaps most telling is what happens to researchers who refuse to remain silent. Career destruction is just the beginning. Funding disappears from multiple sources simultaneously. Academic journals refuse to publish their work regardless of peer review. Colleagues distance themselves after receiving institutional pressure. Legal threats materialize from undisclosed sources. And in some cases, researchers face mysterious accidents or unexplained health problems that effectively end their careers. The message is unmistakable. Certain discoveries about human history are forbidden territory. The evidence can be documented, photographed, and analyzed, but it cannot be shared with the public or integrated into educational materials. Knowledge that could revolutionize our understanding of ancient civilizations must remain locked away to protect narratives that serve institutional interests. What's particularly disturbing is how these suppression efforts have shaped public education. Textbook publishers receive instructions to omit references to anomalous discoveries. Academic curricula are designed to exclude evidence that contradicts accepted timelines. Students learn versions of history that deliberately ignore inconvenient archaeological findings. The result is that generations have been educated using deliberately incomplete information about human development. The implications extend far beyond academic politics. If ancient civilizations possessed advanced knowledge and sophisticated technology, what happened to that information? Why did human societies appear to regress technologically after achieving remarkable capabilities? The evidence suggests that knowledge and technology follow cyclical patterns rather than linear progression, with periods of advancement followed by systematic destruction or loss. These cycles might explain why certain discoveries seem impossibly advanced for their supposed time periods. Perhaps they represent not primitive attempts at technology, but remnants of previous civilizations that achieved levels of sophistication we're only beginning to understand. The systematic suppression could be designed to prevent recognition of these cycles and maintain illusions about human progress being consistently upward. The hidden discoveries also raise profound questions about the relationship between knowledge and power. If ancient peoples possessed scientific understanding that exceeded contemporary capabilities, why would modern institutions want to hide that information? The answer suggests that acknowledging ancient advancement would undermine narratives that justify current power structures and institutional authority. Consider what would happen if the public learned that ancient civilizations had developed sustainable technologies, democratic political systems, and scientific knowledge that exceeded our current understanding. Such revelations would challenge assumptions about primitive versus advanced societies, question the inevitability of technological progress, and suggest that alternatives to current systems have existed throughout history. The suppression becomes even more significant when examining what these discoveries reveal about human potential. If our ancestors achieved remarkable capabilities using different approaches to knowledge and technology, what possibilities are we missing by limiting our understanding to officially approved narratives? The hidden evidence suggests that human intellectual and technological development has been far more sophisticated and varied than we've been taught. The geographic distribution of suppressed discoveries is particularly revealing. Every continent has produced archaeological evidence that contradicts official timelines, yet these findings are consistently hidden from public awareness. This global pattern suggests that advanced knowledge and sophisticated technology existed worldwide in ancient times, not just in recognized centers of civilization. The technological sophistication demonstrated by these hidden artifacts often exceeds our current manufacturing capabilities. Crystal skulls crafted with impossible precision. Electrical systems more efficient than modern installations. Mechanical computers calculating astronomical events with contemporary accuracy. These aren't primitive attempts at technology. They represent mastery of principles we're still developing. Perhaps most unsettling is the evidence that some ancient technologies remain functional after thousands of years. Energy signatures continuing to emanate from buried devices. Electrical systems maintaining conductivity across millennia. Mechanical instruments retaining precision calibration despite extended burial. This suggests engineering approaches that achieve sustainability and longevity far exceeding our current industrial practices. The systematic destruction of evidence has eliminated countless opportunities to learn from ancient achievements. Physical artifacts have been destroyed or made inaccessible. Research documentation has been confiscated and classified. Archaeological sites have been sealed or modified to prevent further investigation. The knowledge that could revolutionize modern technology and scientific understanding has been deliberately placed beyond reach. But the cover-ups have created their own evidence trail. Government documents obtained through Freedom of Information requests confirm institutional coordination to suppress discoveries. Leaked correspondence reveals academic institutions working together to maintain historical narratives. Military modifications to archaeological sites demonstrate the resources dedicated to hiding ancient evidence. The suppression itself proves the significance of what's being hidden. The pattern continues today with new discoveries facing immediate classification and researcher intimidation. Modern ground-penetrating radar continues to detect anomalous structures beneath famous monuments. Genetic analysis of ancient remains reveals impossible antiquity. Advanced imaging techniques uncover technological sophistication in artifacts previously considered primitive. Yet these findings disappear into the same suppression networks that have operated for decades. The digital age has made complete suppression more difficult, but it has also enabled more sophisticated information control. Online databases can be modified remotely. Digital images can be altered or removed. Social media platforms can suppress content that contradicts official narratives. The tools of suppression have evolved with technology, while maintaining the same fundamental goal of controlling historical knowledge. What emerges from examining these 10 hidden discoveries is a picture of human history that differs dramatically from what we've been taught. Instead of linear progression from primitive to advanced, the evidence suggests cyclical development with periods of remarkable achievement, followed by systematic destruction or loss. Instead of isolated technological development, the findings indicate global civilizations with advanced knowledge operating across continents. The suppression of this evidence serves multiple purposes for institutional powers. It maintains narratives about technological progress that support current economic systems. It preserves academic authority by preventing challenges to established theories. It protects political structures by hiding evidence of alternative social organizations. And it ensures that transformative knowledge remains controlled rather than publicly accessible. But perhaps the most important question is what other discoveries remain hidden in classified facilities, sealed archaeological sites, and private collections around the world. If these 10 cases represent only the documented evidence that is leaked despite suppression efforts, how many other revolutionary findings have been successfully buried? The scope of hidden knowledge could be far greater than we can imagine. The evidence suggests that our ancestors possessed capabilities we're still struggling to understand or replicate. They achieved technological sophistication using approaches different from our current methods. They developed sustainable systems that operated for millennia. And they left behind knowledge that could revolutionize our understanding of science, technology, and human potential. Yet this extraordinary heritage has been systematically hidden from humanity by institutions that claim to serve public knowledge and education. The greatest discoveries about our past have become the most closely guarded secrets of the present. And the knowledge that could transform our future remains locked away to protect the interests of those who control historical narratives. The 10 archaeological discoveries we've examined represent more than suppressed evidence. They're proof that human history has been deliberately rewritten to serve institutional interests rather than human understanding. The systematic suppression reveals that certain truths about our past are considered too dangerous for public knowledge, too disruptive to established power structures, and too revolutionary for educational systems designed to maintain rather than challenge existing paradigms. If you learned something from this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with a friend. Don't keep these discoveries as a secret to yourself. What we've learned today changes everything about how we should view official historical narratives, academic institutions, and government claims about protecting public interests. The evidence shows that the most extraordinary discoveries about human achievement have been systematically hidden while we've been taught deliberately incomplete versions of our own history. The question isn't whether these discoveries are real. The documentation, witness testimony, and physical evidence confirm their authenticity. The question is, what other revolutionary knowledge about human capability and ancient achievement remains hidden in the shadows of institutional control? Until next time, when we find out how.